Jorge, buen día. ¿Cómo está todo por ahí? Acá sentado encima delante de la computadora para mi caso de corte allá en Cleveland. O sea, no, todavía nada, todavía a las 9:30 me toca a mí. Estoy acá delante para lo que dicen, para pelearlo, ¿no? Para que me dé más extensión o lo que sea, lo que tenga que hacer, ¿no? Castigar, quién sabe. Ya me han dado una. Sí, no, pero allá son medio pendejos, no sé. Están jodiendo con tanta casa fea y mala por ahí, imagínate. Claro, claro. Pero nada, ahí. ¿Tú estás interesado todavía de acompañarme ya?
Are they there? Let's see. Were we supposed to call them? Good afternoon. Can you hear us?
Yes.
Good morning.
Mr. Johnson?
Yes.
That's who's speaking. Okay, what's your case number?
Give me just.
Do you know what your docket is?
Give me just a second. Let me see if I can get that information for you. I don't know right off hand, but let me look at my email here.
You know your address?
Yeah. $5045 Persian Avenue.
Okay, I think you're one of the last cases. Let me take a look here. So I'm going to have you mute your mic until we call your case. Let's see.
Sure.
Yeah, you're one of the last cases on the docket. So go ahead and mute, and then when we call your case, you can go ahead and come on.
Sure, not a problem.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Mr. Chairman, we're just waiting for counsel for the Department of Building and Housing. Give us a few more minutes.
Sure. Thank you.
Okay, Mr. Chairman, you can start with the preamble.
Okay, in compliance with notification requirements of Ohio's open meeting law and section 101.021 of the codified ordinances of Cleveland, Ohio, 1976, notice of this meeting has been publicly posted. All boards and commissions under the purview of the City Planning Department conducts its meetings according to Robert's Rules of Order. Actions during the meeting will be taken by voice vote. Abstentions from any vote due to a conflict of interest should be stated for the record prior to the taking of any vote. In order to ensure that everyone participating in the meeting has the opportunity to be heard, we ask that you use the raise hand feature before asking a question or making a comment. The raise hand feature can be found in the participants panel on the desktop and mobile version and activated by clicking the hand icon. Please wait for the chair or facilitator to recognize you, and be sure to lower your unmute and announce yourself before you speak. When finished speaking, please lower your hand by clicking on the raise hand icon again and mute your microphone. We will also be utilizing the chat feature to communicate with participants. The chat feature can be activated by clicking the chat button located on the bottom of the WebEx screen. Call-in users can unmute by using *6. All meeting activities being recorded by way of the WebEx platform. These proceedings are also being live streamed by way of YouTube. All requests to speak in a particular matter by way of our website and email have been considered. We have also received emails from those who have provided written comment on a particular matter. Okay, Mr. Jacobson?
Yes, Mr. Chairman, this is Dean Jacobson from the Law Department. Preliminarily, I just want to verify that the live stream is on and functioning.
The live stream is on function.
And as the Law Department has done since these public meetings have gone virtual and or hybrid, law objects to the use of the chat function. Basically, if the meetings were held in person in City Hall, the side chats would not be allowed or.
Okay, thank you. Ms. Davis, call the roll.
Mr. Maschke,
Here.
Mr. Dink,
Here.
Mr. Gallagher.
Here.
We
Okay,
have a quorum.
okay, thank you. We only have 3 board members, which means that if our decision is not unanimous, which it usually is, then your appeal goes back to the city. If for that reason you prefer not to have your case heard, then let me know when we call your case that you would like to reschedule your case. Okay, the Board of Building Standards and Appeals is now in session. I'm going to call the first docket, A13522, 13518 Miles Avenue.
Application and fees are in order. Notice of violation is condemnation of the main structure.
Good morning, Crystal King, present.
1 second, Ms. King.
Okay.
Issued on September 8th of 2021. Appeal statement received September 22nd of 2022. Present for the hearing, Tom Vanover, Building and Housing, Daniel Jacobson, Law. With the appellant or his or her attorney or representative, please state your name for the record.
Crystal King.
Okay, Ms. King, solemnly swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, so help you God?
Yes, I do.
Okay, go ahead and let us know what your plans are.
My plans is to restore the building and bring it out of condemnation. I started that by the first thing I had to obtain the blueprints and submit those to be approved. That's been done. We had a roof issue and that's being completed. So the building is basically secure and dry at this point. And then I am pulling the rest of the permits starting next week. And I was just wanting the additional time extended from the permit time, which to my knowledge is 6 months to a year. I'm here to ask for an additional year to take me until August of 24 to complete the renovations and get the building out of condemnation.
Okay, we're gonna go over to Mr. Vanover and see what his take is on this.
Mr. Chairman, thank you. Ms. Davis, can you repeat the street address numbers, please?
13520 Miles Avenue. Did you hear me, Tom?
I did, thank you.
Okay. My allergies. Yeah.
Bear with me just a moment, Mr. Chairman.
No problem.
13520 Miles Avenue. Yeah. Ms. Davis, can you provide me with the violation number? Because I'm having trouble finding that.
It's
Okay, violation numbers, V as in Victor, 210-24973.
Thank you.
I also have a copy of a B number, if you want that as well.
Yes, ma'am.
B as in boy, 230-04701. On the B permit, the address is known as 13518 Miles Avenue.
Yes, so Mr. Chairman and Ms. Davis, the V number that you provided, the violation number, also lists the address as 13518.
That is correct.
Okay.
Mr. Chairman, to
Thank
Mr. Van, the VN also lists the parcel number and lists an AKA of 13520 miles.
Thank you. So, Mr. Chairman, this is a, this is a condemnation of the main structure. The city of Cleveland in May of this year boarded the structure after a fire. There are violations as stated on this, and this has gone through our process for service and for legal requirements and has been approved for demolition. We would prefer not to demolish the structure. I believe the time frame requested is concerning, because it's just entirely too much time for this structure to sit in the neighborhood in this condition.
Okay, well, we can get back to Ms. King and see what she can do about that. Tightening up that schedule and completing the outside while the weather's good. Ms. King?
Yes.
Okay, you heard the comments by Mr.
Yes.
Vanover.
I'm currently working on the outside. The main thing was the roof and the front of the building, which we have begun working on. So all of that will be most definitely completed before the weather gets bad. I would only be doing interior work during the winter if need be. But the outside will be, the building, again, like I stated in the beginning, is dry and safe. I am securing all of that while the weather is good. So it's underway right now. I mean, I just pulled the permit. I haven't had it 30 days, and the main thing was the roof. So that was preventing us from anything. It's a brick structure. The bricks are good. We had rotted wood on the front. That's been being repaired. You can ride by that and see that right now. So I believe, I mean, what is the time that I need to be complete? I'm trying to make it happen. I just want to leave room for error, if any.
Right, well, you can always come back as long as progress is going on. You can always come back and ask for more time. And in the let's see, who is working with you from the city on this? Who's your inspector? Well,
I haven't spoke with my inspector yet. So
okay, well, that's who you have to work with.
Chief Kevin, I haven't spoke with him yet.
Okay, well, that's who you have to work with, and if you're making progress, you can, keep in touch with the inspector. At this point, I don't know, you were asking for.
Mr. Chairman?
Go ahead.
There is an active building permit. We do, as the city always does. We do object to the ability to come back to this board requesting more time. This is an administrative appeal given by right for the board to make the determination on the notice of violation. There are administrative remedies required to get the permits. None of the mechanical permits have been pulled. Those will all be required to be pulled by registered contractors. And we would ask that any request for more time would need to be done under the building permit under the Ohio Administrative Code. It's we would ask that the board, if the board is going to grant time, that we have a finite amount of time to get the rest of the permits required. And then that the project be required to progress as required by the Ohio Building Code.
Okay, that makes sense. Now, as far as getting those permits, that's the time that we're looking at to get the permits that she needs for this. So, how much time do you need, Ms. King, to pull those permits?
What time are you allowing me to pull the permits?
Well, we'd like you to pull them as soon as possible.
Yes.
Mr.
Okay.
Chairman, Mr. Chairman, this is a 2021 condemnation. And Mr. Chairman, to the appellant, when did you take possession of this property?
I just took possession, like in 22 August, between August and September 22. When I filed the appeal, I only had 30 days to file that appeal once I got ownership of the building. So I just purchased it August, September last year, which was a year after it had been condemned already.
So, Mr. Chairman, to the appellant, did you purchase this from a foreclosure?
From a forfeiture sale.
Yes. So, Mr. Chairman, we would ask no more than 30 days to get to complete the permit process and
Okay.
begin work on the property. This is an investment property. It was in this condition when it was purchased. So matters of funding and logistics should not impact the time period, because that should have been the expectation when the property was purchased. It was purchased as an investment and to rehab it. So we would ask for no more than 30 days to get the rest of the permits, and then the balance of the work to be conducted under the rules of the Ohio Administrative Code.
Okay, Ms. King,
Yes.
that's doable?
I believe that is doable. And at the point, if we needed other extension time, what is the time frame for the permits? Once I pull them, I understand I'll have those in 30 days. That won't be a problem. For those to be pulled, so I could be in compliance with that. And then the allotment for the permits, what's the time frame for those? Are those 6 months or a year?
Mr. Vanover?
Mr. Chairman, the Ohio Administrative Code requires that for the plan approval to remain valid, work must progress and not become abandoned for more than 6 months. The local ordinance, the City of Cleveland local ordinance requires that work progress and not be abandoned for more than 90 days for the permit to remain active. There's no sunset date. The expectation is that the work is consistently progressing and that it is being inspected and that it is maintained clean, secure, and graffiti free.
That is perfect. I can comply with that.
Okay, very good. So motion is in order to grant 30 days to July 7th, 2023 to obtain the permits.
So moved.
Okay, moved by Mr. Maschke.
Second.
Okay, second by Mr. Dank.
Mr. Maschke,
Yes.
Mr. Dink,
Yes.
Mr. Gallagher.
Yes. Okay, notice will be sent within 2 weeks. Thank you very much.
I appreciate you all. Have a wonderful day.
You too. Okay, next docket is A1023 3422 East 78th Street.
Mr. Chairman, this is also known as 9,000 East 78th Street as well.
Okay,
Application and fees are in order. This is a notice of violation is exterior maintenance, vacant lot and storage. Issued on January 10th of 2023. Appeal was received January 17th, 2023. Requesting for time to abate the violations. Present for the hearing, Tom Vanover, Building and Housing, Daniel Jacobson, Law. With the appellant or his or her attorney or representative, please state your name for the record.
Rula Khalil.
okay. Is that Ms. Khalil? solemnly swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, so help you God?
Yes, I do.
Okay, go ahead and let us know what your plans are.
I talked to my lawyer. I have a lawyer, Mr. John Gibson, but he's now at a court.
Okay,
And I talked to the survey. I found a survey because I got so long time looking for survey, and I talked to a lot of survey, but I don't know. I never got response. But my daughter, she found another one survey, and he want to do, to come buy the land.
let's
Um,
see.
Mr. Chairman,
Yes,
Ms. Khalid, I know it was a language barrier when she was here earlier. Do you have your daughter on with you today?
No, I have my son.
Okay, if your son is going to help you with translation or speaking, could you please have him state his name for the record?
Yes, Abdel Malik Widi.
Mr. Chairman, he needs to be sworn in, please.
okay. Okay, go, solemnly swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, so help you God?
Yes, I do.
Okay, I guess you're gonna continue then to explain this, merger of properties?
Okay.
We continue.
Yeah, okay.
Pay
I
attention.
know. Where did you, wait, what was, look, I know the,
Bismouth.
Mr. Chairman, the appellant advised he did have an attorney. I just wanted to put on the table if they wanted to get a hold of that attorney and come back.
Oh, okay, reschedule?
yeah,
Yes.
that,
Well, they would need to state that, but if they want to do that, if they want to reschedule it, then we can have, Ms. Davis handle that end of it, but, if there's something they can get out here that we can, if they can talk about it, then, maybe we can get it moved along a little bit.
Yeah, Mr. Chairman, that's fine. I just wanted to put that out there. Thank you.
No, it's very good, thank you.
excuse me, yeah, we would like to reschedule.
Okay, all right, and, Ms. Davis, you can, handle that?
Yeah, Mr. Chairman, to the appellant, could you reach out to the office tomorrow so we can discuss a date, or have your attorney contact the office so I can make arrangements with your attorney?
Okay, I will.
Okay, there'll be no action. Okay, docket A 1223 has been withdrawn. And so we'll move on to docket A 1323 9829 Lake Avenue.
Application and fees are in order. Notice of violation is interior and exterior maintenance, issued December 28th of 2022. Appeal was received January 18th of 2023. Present for the hearing, Tom Vanover, Building and Housing. Daniel Jacobson, Law. With the appellant or his or her attorney or property management team, please state your name for the record.
Sarah August.
Let's see. Okay, Ms. August, solemnly swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, so help you God?
Yes, I do.
Okay, hold on for just a moment. I see that Ms. Lazar is on from Ward 15. I believe that's Ms. Councilwoman Spencer's ward. Do you wish to speak in the beginning or at the end?
I can speak at the end. Thank you, Sharon.
Okay, thank you. Okay, go ahead, Ms. August.
Mr. Chairman?
Yes.
Mr. Chairman, Sheba needs to be sworn in.
Well, let's do that. Okay. I solemnly swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, so help you God. Anyone giving testimony?
I do.
Okay, go ahead and proceed. Let us know what your plans are.
Okay, so we've been working with Dario Turek. He's been out to the building a couple of times to check the violations that have been completed. At this point, we only have, there are 3 units with violations remaining. One of those units we have in a tenant with an escrow case who is refusing entry and refusing to have the repairs completed. Mr. Turek did speak with them and they have refused. That is going to escrow trial, so that unit we have not been able to complete. There are 2 other units, 201, 205, where we have hostile tenants that we have served 24-hour notices and tried to gain entry, and they haven't allowed us. We do believe we will have those complete in the next week. We had our attorney reach out to them and try to reason to them to the point to be allowed to get the repairs completed. For the tuck pointing, that is the only other thing that's remaining on the outside of the building, and that is scheduled and paid for the 9th of this month and should be completed by the 11th. So we spoke to Mr. Turek about coming out to do a reinspection after that's complete.
Okay, so total time to complete all the violations?
We, with the exception of unit 304 that are absolutely refusing to allow us to complete anything, we will be completed by the end of next week.
Okay, Mr. Vanover.
Is he still there? Did we lose him? Oh, he's muted. Tom, you're muted.
Apologies. Mr. Chairman, we would ask that, we don't object to more time because I believe it's progressing. But I would like to point out this is a corporately owned commercial property that the expectation is that it remains violation free before the city of Cleveland has to inspect and issue violations. These are things that should have been cared for prior to the citizens of the city needing to pay inspectors to go and identify these problems. So we don't object to more time, but we would ask that the time frame be limited, 30 days, 60 days at the max. There is remedy within the courts to gain access to the properties and inside the units that the owner must go through to accomplish that. But that's unfortunately the nature of the business. And this is a business.
Okay, Ms. Lazar.
Thank
Sorry.
you, Chairman. I appreciate the opportunity to speak. This building has been, over the past year and a half, truly a problem for the council office and for the residents who are tenants within that building. We've received over 12 different complaints from 5 residents and 1 neighbor. And the complaints are actually more health and safety issues, failing electricity, no heat, inoperable elevators, junk and debris and garbage overflowing that is not removed from the dumpsters. Also, we've had leaking pipes, collapsing ceilings. I'm not sure if all of this is involved within the details of the violation, but we are expecting that those would also be addressed and eliminated because this is not a low income rental unit. This is people are paying a lot of money to live in this beautiful building, and it is really a historically significant building within the Edgewater neighborhood. So we hope to see it properly maintained, that Overland is accepting the responsibilities and fulfilling the responsibilities as a property management company. The tenants that we've spoken to have said that Overland has been unresponsive, not present, and we certainly hope that that changes.
Thank you. Okay, Ms. August.
Yes, I'm sorry. Can I just respond to that?
Sure,
So
yes, you can.
we had boiler failure on December 5th of this year. Last year. And we went to the great expense of installing gas heaters in every tenant's unit to try to bridge the gap between the new boiler coming into the building and when the failure happened, because we felt that the storage heaters were not sufficient. We went to a great deal of expense to try to make sure that there was no further damages done. And unfortunately, the parking garage did have a burst pipe on December 27th, which was the water and heat issues. We've been working diligently with an attorney. Our company actually only took over maintenance of this property in January of this year. The owner had a separate maintenance manager at the property that did all maintenance up until January of this year. We took over at that point because of we felt that there were some shortcomings on his point. And we went to the owner and told him in order for us to continue managing the building, we needed to take over that responsibility so that we could hold people accountable. We have worked very hard to clear as many violations and restore the property as much as we can. We've been making great progress, which I think Mr. Turk's photos show. There were over 30 violations on this property and we're down to 3. We've really, tried to do everything we can to restore not only the building, but the reputation of our company. We do have some very hostile tenants in the building. We have some tenants which have created a lot of problems, which Mr. Turk also was witness to. And there are ongoing trials and cases for those with counterclaims.
Ms. August, thank you for taking those steps. Were the tenants compensated for the additional expenses?
One question, Mr. Chairperson, to Ms. Lazar, please address the chairperson when you're giving your commentary. So
My
go
apologies.
to the chairperson, then to the appellant. Thank you.
My apologies.
Okay, so through the chair, go ahead, Ms. Lazar.
Thank you. Ms. August, were the residents compensated for the additional costs for either moving out because of no heat, getting alternative places to stay, or operating the heaters? That is one of the issues that we did hear about, that there were some gross expenses incurred.
Our company incurred over $70,000 in expenses of hotels. These tenants were all placed in hotels or given the option to break their lease and move out. They were compensated for the extra cost on their gas and electric bills in their units for the space heaters and the gas heaters that we installed that they felt cost them more to run, marginally different, about $20 a month. But it cost them more to run than the usual boiler system would have. So they were compensated for that also.
Mr. Chairman, and I apologize about interrupting, but the board is allowed to hear this evidence and take it into consideration, but this matter is outside the board. This is a civil matter.
Okay. All right. Good point. So we'll go ahead and because you do have the tenant that you have to work on to get out of there. We'll give you to August 7th, 60 days, 2023 to abate all the violations.
Okay.
Motion?
So moved.
Okay, moved by second by Mr. Maskey.
Mr. Dink,
Yes.
Mr. Maskey,
Yes.
Mr. Gallagher.
Yes. Okay, notice will be sent within 2 weeks. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, next docket, A823 3642 East 144th Street.
Application and fees are in order. So notice of violation is fire damage, issued December 21st of 2022. Appeal statement received January 9th of 2023, requesting for time to abate the violations. Present for the hearing, Tom Vanover, Building and Housing. Patricia Aston, Daniel Jacobson, Law. With the appellant or his or her attorney or representative, please state your name for the record. Mr. Johnson?
Sorry, can you hear me now?
We can.
Okay.
Okay.
Excellent. My name is Jeremiah Johnson, owner.
Okay, hold on just a minute. We're going to swear you in.
Sure, go ahead.
Okay. Solemnly swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, so help you God.
I do.
Okay, go ahead, Mr. Johnson.
Yeah, so as far as the building on West 73rd, we took on that project to hopefully bring it back to its former glory. The building had been vacant for so many years and had been kind of full of homeless people and a lot of paraphernalia found all the time in there. So we've got to the point where we've secured the building. Unfortunately, somebody broke in and caused a fire, and at this point, I believe we've now had 2 inspections for that fire damage, and we have the permit in place now for it, and I believe we've mitigated everything, barring a final inspection for that fire damage.
Okay. Mr. Vanover?
Hey, Mr. Chairman, can you repeat the address again?
Yeah, I gave the wrong address. It's 2098 West 73rd Street, and it's docket 1623.
All right, thank you. Thought I was losing it for a moment.
No, I was. You're fine.
That's actually why I was delayed in responding. I thought that's
yeah. I got it. Thank you for moving on.
So, Mr. Chairman, so this is we do have an active violation on this. The building permit for this project has not been issued. It's still in pending status. And that is required. And it appears that the inspector has been inspecting on the violation notice, but there is no active permit for the work being completed in this on this property. And which would need to be, that would need to be rectified immediately.
So work
is going on.
So work has progressed without the permit being finalized, right?
Correct.
Okay, that'll need to be inspected.
Mr. Chairman, to Mr. Vanover, is this a property that would need plans? Is it the amount of units?
Well, based on the work being performed, and by the photographs, yes, it would need plans to show what the extent of. Yes, it would. And it would need it would need a contractor as well because it is corporately owned.
Mr. Johnson?
So just to clarify, maybe you could help me a little bit here. So essentially, in my understanding that the building permit and all that has been applied for, and you said it's in a pending status. Yes, and obviously the property has been secured. And as far as there was also, we do have architectural drawings for the building as well that we did in the preliminary stages. It was just, I will say this, it was super important as we took on this project, purely to make it a feasible option. Basically on a building like this and where it was at and the amount of time it had been vacant, if the city was going to require us to kind of treat it like new construction, then we weren't going to take on the project. We weren't going to do it at all. When we went in to take on this headache, if you will, we kind of were really upfront about the fact that we were very happy to remodel it and follow all the building codes to remodel the building. But if the city was going to approach it like a new construction, then it wasn't a feasible project for us at all. We'd invest twice the value of the building into it. So then the city and Jenny Spencer's office has been great to deal with, to help us in the process of going through and just kind of taking on this project. And we've met with her and her office. And so with that being said, so we're happy to take on the project. Obviously, we've had some setbacks along the way that have been quite frustrating, things that are a bit out of our control. Unfortunately, all the fire damage that was caused was not, the insurance policy had a loophole, and so it was zero as a cost. So we ended up eating the cost of all the fire damage. But the project is well on its way now. We have secured all the specialties, we have them all lined up, and we're really in a way better spot than we've ever been on the project. As far as our HVAC secured, sub secured, plumbing secured, and electrical secured, and that's been a bit of a challenge as well, to get all those specialties in place to do the project.
All right, there's something lost in translation. Go ahead, Mr. Vanover.
So, Mr. Chairman, to the appellant, when you said that you were up front, who were you up front with? Who were these conversations held with?
Sorry, with the building department.
Who with the building department, do you know?
With Marcus, I can't think of his last name. In fairness, just to clarify, it's the general contractor who's had those conversations with him and not myself.
Before or after you purchased, Mr. Chairman, before or after the property was purchased? I'm trying to understand this,
Sure.
for the record, I'm trying to understand it seems like there was some sort of understanding prior to the purchase of the property that they were, that the appellate had in specific intentions, and I just want to make sure if there was commitments made by the intake personnel, which is where Marcus Winfrey works. That's not the proper venue to have the conversation. It's the city of Cleveland follows the Ohio Building Code, which is regulated and mandated by the state of Ohio in the Ohio Administrative Code. So the work that is required on an existing building is codified by law within the Ohio Building Code in the Ohio Administrative Code. So it's not a city of Cleveland decision on what is required. And our expectation is that the law is followed. The business decisions made by the appellant are just that, business decisions that are made. I'm assuming there's a design professional involved in this undertaking, and that design professional would be able to opine on what is required and what is needed. So that being said, we do require plans. This is a commercial property. It is corporately owned, and the work will be conducted by contractors and follow the Ohio Building Code to the extent that the code requires. As of now, it appears that the permit has not been issued. It has actually just been submitted last week, June 2nd of 2023. The permit application was made, so it's still in the review stages. And as you can see, the work has progressed well beyond that. My question to the appellate is, why is, Mr. Chairman, to the appellate, what was the delay in submitting for the permit?
Yeah, so in fairness, that might have been a bit of an oversight, and I apologize for that. And everything you just said there verbally, I agree with 100%. Please don't, I did not mean to misconstrue that we're trying to like some sort of cut corners or do something else, but exactly what you described is exactly what we're doing. And I apologize that the permit, honestly, on my, I thought that was already taken care of. And I think apparently the permit hadn't been paid for or something like that, or that was my understanding. It was a bit lost in that. So, but that was, yeah. In fairness, I was surprised as you were to find that wasn't in place. But
Mr.
I thought
Director, Mr. Chairman, to the appellant, the city is empathetic with your concerns, but it's the law that requires plans to be submitted. It's not the city enforcing. You need to enforce that. But again, whatever individuals you took advice from, you can take that at your own peril. There's case law to support that, but it's the law that requires plans.
Gotcha. And yeah, thank you. Yeah, I appreciate that. I understand.
Okay, so I guess you have to put this on track to make sure that Mr. Vanover's office gets all the information that's necessary in order to, it may have went the wrong place, I'm not sure, but the permitting has to be in place before you proceed with the building. So I guess we're going to have to look at some time here to make sure that the permits are in place and reinspection or whatever has to be done. Mr. Vanover, do you have any more comments?
No, I do not. Just that plans will be required. The permit application has been made, but if there's no design documents for this structure, it's going to further delay the process because it's going to make it through the zoning review portion, and then the plan review fee will need to be paid, and drawings will need to be submitted at that time, or else you'll receive an adjudication order. And
Okay,
just delays.
what kind of time do you think would be needed to get this in, Mr. Vanover?
Well, Mr. Chairman, this is so this is a violation, appeal of a violation notice that was issued in December of 2000 and December of 2022. I would ask the appellate, when did you take possession of the property?
July of 22.
July of 22. So, Mr. Chairman, so July of 22, and then the VN was issued later. So, Mr. Chairman, they've had possession for some time. We would not object to 60 days for the application to make it through the review process, but that will take some response if there are adjudicated items. And then from that point, the Ohio Administrative Code, once the permit is issued and once they diligently work to get the permit issued, the Ohio Administrative Code will take over. And at that point, it should be remanded back to us. If there's an active permit and active work happening, then it will allow to remain. But if it becomes dormant or we don't get the proper responses to the permit process, then that will allow us to follow our administrative remedy.
Okay. Let me go over to Ms. Lazar for any comments.
Thank you, Chairman. We started actually working with Jeremiah Johnson when he reached out to Building and Housing, and they suggested in July of 2022 that he contact the council office. So he did take that very responsible measure, and since then has been incredibly responsive. Whenever we notify him that one of the openings is unsecure and the building needs to be reboarded, he has consistently responded within 24 hours. It's been a great relationship, and I wish that more investors would follow that suit. On November 21st of 2022 is when there was the fire, and I was actually the one who notified Jeremiah, and he was quick to secure the property. So that was just, I think, a definition of his character. So I think we're confident that he'll meet the 60-day requirement, and we appreciate the extension. This building is incredibly important for affordable housing in this section of the ward. And Jeremiah has been also asking our guidance on how many units there should be, what should be the design of those units, keeping them 2 bedrooms for small families. So we appreciate that effort on his part.
Okay, thank you for your comments. So Mr. Johnson, we're going to go by a recommendation to be August 7th, 60 days, 2023 to obtain the permits. Motion?
moved. Second.
Moved by Mr. Dank, second by Mr. Maskey.
Mr. Maskey,
Yes.
Mr. Dink,
Yes.
Mr. Gallagher.
Yes. Okay, notice will be sent within 2 weeks. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Okay, next docket is A 823, 3642 East 144th Street.
Application and fees are in order. Notice of violation is interior and exterior maintenance. Issued on December 7th of 2022. Appeal statement was received January 3rd of 2023. The owner did email in to the board for review, contracts, and an itinerary for phases of work to be completed. Present for the hearing, Tom Vanover, Building and Housing, Daniel Jacobson, Law. With the owner or his or her attorney or representative, please state your name for the record.
Thomas Wall.
Okay, is that Mr. Wall?
Yes, sir.
Okay, solemnly swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, so help you God?
Yes, I do.
Okay, go ahead and let us know what your plans are.
Sir, I plan to remodel the whole thing. Not the whole thing, fix the bathrooms, the kitchen. I was there in January, a month after I got the violation. First time looking at the property. And I've been since then trying to hire contractors, a property manager. The property manager that was at that present property quit after finding about the violation. That second floor has never been rented. I've never seen it before. So I went, took a look, and I've ever since been looking for a contractor. I have a couple bids from different contractors, and right now I'm trying to set up so I can be there. I do take care of my mother here who has dementia, so I'm trying to coordinate with a sister that can fly in here for 2 weeks so I can go up there and be on the property. Hopefully within the next 2 months, I'll have it all working, set up. The gutters have been fixed outside. The electrical, I have 2 companies that come in, check all the boxes, put covers over the electrical box. All of the garbage that you see there has been picked up. Walls have been patched on the walls, and all the garbage again has been removed. But again, it was in the middle of winter when I was there. I couldn't paint, couldn't do anything, basically.
Okay. Mr. Vanover?
Mr. Chairman, to the appellate, is this property currently empty?
There's one tenant downstairs. She's been there for years.
Mr. Chairman, we don't object to 90 days to complete the correction of all the violation notices.
Okay, it sounds like he can do that from what he has said. So, take a motion for September 7th, 90 days, 2023 to complete the violations.
So moved.
Okay, moved by Mr. Maskey,
Second.
second by Mr. Dank.
Mr. Maskey,
Yes.
Mr. Dink,
Yes.
Mr. Gallagher.
Yes. Okay, notice will be sent within 2 weeks. Thank you.
Thank you, Chairman.
Okay, next docket, A 923, 1276 West 112th Street.
Application and fees are in order. Notice of violation. One second. Notice of violation is interior and exterior maintenance, illegal occupancy, and no permit. Issued November 23rd of 2022. Appeal statement received December 5th of 2022 requesting for time to abate the violation. Present for the hearing, Tom Vanover, Building and Housing, Daniel Jacobson, Law. With the appellant or his or her attorney or representative, please state your name for the record.
Hello, Redwan Al Shaib. I'm the owner.
Okay, Mr. Ashib, solemnly swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, so help you God?
I do.
Okay, go ahead and let us know what your plans are.
So when we received the violation, there's 4 sections of the violation, or 4 violations, I believe. So the interior and exteriors violations were rectified. I submitted some documentations and photos. I'm not sure, I don't see those here. Most of the interior and exteriors are rectified as of now. As far as the illegal occupancy, the property was bought as such. I have a documentations from the MLS. I can present that if needed. It was bought as 3 units. And I believe the illegal occupation is as it's stated as 2 units, and the third unit is not legal unit, but the property was bought as such, and that's how it was stated in the listing at the time. As far as the permits, there was no such plumbing, electrical, or building was done on the building or in the house to require that permits. So the house was bought as is, only painting, tuck points, flooring, just basic remodeling, and it was left for years, neglected actually. When we bought it, we neglected the house for a while. We didn't rent it, but now we just got back on it. So
So all the mechanicals were in place then, when you got there? Your heating and all that stuff was all in place?
No, it was in place. It's a boiler. It's still a boiler. It's an old boiler. It's there. I'm sure the inspector saw that. It's that mechanical is there. That's when we bought it, 2016. That's that hot water tank. That electrical was there, but the heating is a boiler.
Okay. Okay, so let's go over to Mr. Vanover.
Mr. Chairman, to the appellant, when did you purchase this property?
2016, 2017 timeframe.
So let me, so was there so I'm showing a certificate of disclosure in our records for a, bear with me just a moment. It's RC and Marie Petty. Did you have a certificate of disclosure completed when you purchased the property?
I have to go back and look. I can't confirm, neither do I.
Okay, do you, Mr. Chairman of the appellate, do you remember who you bought the property from?
It was Howard Hanna. I still have all the documentations. I mean, the representative of the, but it was a person, an individual.
So, okay, so Mr. Chairman, the City of Cleveland codified ordinances require that when a property is purchased, that a certificate of disclosure is completed, which would notify the prospective purchasers of the legal use and any violations on the property. The last certificate of disclosure in our records show that in 2015, a certificate of disclosure was completed, and it does show the property as a 2-dwelling unit structure. Unfortunately, how the property was purchased, how it was listed, and how it was sold is not relevant. The property has a legal use, and it is currently had an addition put on it and is currently being used as a 3-family, where it is only a legal 2-family. So any remedy that the appellant seeks is not, we object to relief from the requirements of legal, object to allowing this to be maintained as a 3-family because it was not legally converted, it was not legally inspected or reviewed. So we would ask that you uphold the violation notice as properly issued and remand it back to the Department of Building and Housing.
Okay, Mr. Elishib, you have a comment?
Yes, I think as for all the, I guess, all the other violations, they're rectified, but for the legal and illegal unit, I can present all the documentations. I am not sure. I'm 100% sure that we have that document of disclosure, but this is how it was presented to us. Maybe I was ignorant at the time of understanding what's there, but we have the evidence from the MLS, which was pulled, and I have that evidence showing it was 3 units. When we bought the property, it was 3 units, and that was the reason we bought the property. Actually, it was present, but we can definitely go back to the building department and rectify what needs to be rectified.
Okay.
So,
Well,
Mr. Chairman,
go ahead.
if I may, for the record, the MLS is not the legal record of use. It does not define the use or the occupancy of a property. That is a sales mechanism used in the real estate world. It does not legally establish the use of the property. That is a buyer beware warning that you have to verify what one is purchasing when they are purchasing property. We would ask that what is required is that plans be submitted and permits be obtained, and that a certificate of occupancy is issued for the structure. That is what is required to legally establish the use, with the understanding that depending on the construction, depending on the zoning review and the building code review, there is no guarantee that the work that was completed on the structure will be approved.
Mr. Chairman, if I can comment.
Go ahead.
Yep. So there's no work was done on the property. And I agree, the MLS is a business mechanism. I'm not saying it's a law. But this is how it was presented to us as a sale, as a business, and this is how we approached it. We did not, I was ignorant at the time, as I mentioned, of understanding what I should look at, what I have and what we know and what we don't know at the time. I'm not sure if someone else is looking at the MLS and saying this is false, from the building department saying this is false advertisement or not, but this is how we bought it. We did do our due diligence, and our real estate agent did what he had to do, but that's how we bought the property. And I would like to, on this illegal unit, I would like to reschedule and have a lawyer present to pursue this further, because I'm not understanding all the requirements, and I want to make sure that, somebody on the legal side understanding all the needs.
Mr. Chairman, to the appellant, we would object to granting any additional a continuance of this hearing. To the appellant, the property was acquired in the condition that you acquired it in, whether it meets plans or if you acquired it in a non-code compliant status. That's not up for us to determine now. You need to meet the law as it is and was prior to you obtaining the property. So
I'm not opposing to that. I'm not saying that's not the case, but yes, sure, I'm just trying to get the right person, the expert to lead me the way to rectify this issue. That's all I'm saying.
And I think you can, you can seek that, you know, with the city, but I'm afraid we're gonna have to find that the violation does exist, to the testimony of Mr. Vanover, to what it's actually stated that it is. I mean, you may have some other information there that you can back up, but, at this point, we find that it does exist. And so we're going to take that information, as to what it is, and we're going to, remand it back to the city, and at that point, you can have your battle. So that's go ahead.
Mr. Chairman, yeah, we would ask that the motion state that the violation notices were properly issued and then
Yes.
remanded.
Okay, and they were properly issued, from
Correct.
the testimony that you gave, and, we're gonna remand the property back to the Division of Building and Housing. Motion is in order?
So
moved.
second.
Okay, moved by Mr. Maskey, second by Mr. Denk.
Mr. Maskey,
Yes.
Mr. Dink,
Yes.
Mr. Gallagher.
Yes. Okay, so, you'll get notification within 2 weeks. Thank you. Okay, next docket, A 1123 12515 Leila Avenue.
Application and fees are in order. Notice of violation is interior and exterior maintenance, issued on November 22nd of 2022. Appeal received January 18th of 2023, requesting for time to abate the violations. Present for the hearing, Tom Vanover, Building and Housing, Daniel Jacobson, Law. Will the appellant or his or her attorney or representative please state your name for the record? Mr. Chairman? I
Yes,
do not see, can't even make it up, Anna,
Ferntown.
yeah.
No, you don't see anyone up there. Okay. Okay, Mr. Well, I'll swear in Mr. Vanover, and Mr. Jacobson, you can ask your questions. Solemnly swear to tell the whole truth, so help you God, Mr. Vanover.
I do.
You're muted.
Okay, go ahead, Mr. Jacobson, ask your questions.
Thank you. Through the chairman to Ms. Davis, did notice of today's hearing get returned to the board's file for any reason?
Mr. Chairman, to Mr. Jacobson, no.
And to Ms. Davis, have you received any form of communication, email, voicemail, or anything physically delivered to you on behalf of this appellant and or docket?
To Mr. Chairman, to Mr. Jacobson, no.
To the chairman, thank you, Ms. Davis, due process requirements of notice having been given, the board can proceed with the hearing and its ruling. Thank you.
Okay. Very good. Mr. Vanover.
Mr. Chairman and Ms. Davis, can you please read the violation notice that is under appeal for this case?
Mr. Chairman, to Mr. Vanover. Violation, V as in Victor, 220-28536.
Mr. Chairman, according to the records, Inspector Drazen Blazovic was at the property 3/15/2023 and resulted, his inspection results were compliance final and closed the notice of violation.
Okay, do we need today's date?
Mr. Chairman, we don't object to that.
Okay. Just have to see that today is the 7th, I do believe, right? Yes, okay. So motion is in order to make the June 7th, 2023 to abate all violations. Motion?
So moved.
The motion by Mr. Maskey,
Second.
second by Mr. Dent.
Mr. Maskey,
Yes.
Mr. Dink,
Yes.
Mr. Gallagher.
Yes, notice will be sent within 2 weeks. Okay. Docket A1423, 3808 West 33rd Street.
Application and fees are in order. Notice of violation is no permit and interior and exterior maintenance issued on December 28th of 2022. Appeal was received January 17th of 2023, requesting more time to abate the violations. Present for the hearing, Tom Vanover, Building and Housing, Daniel Jacobson, Law. Would the appellant or his or her attorney or representative please state your name for the record?
JD France.
Okay, Mr. France,
Yes,
solemnly swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, so help you God.
I do.
Okay, go ahead and let us know what your plans are.
So I submitted the estimates and pictures over to Ms. Bowens, and forgot the other young lady name that I submitted the pictures of the completed work, as well as the paid invoices for all this, for everything that has been completed.
Okay, you're saying that everything is completed?
Correct.
Okay, Mr. Vanover.
Mr. Chairman, I don't know who Ms. Bowens is. The inspection record for the notice of violation shows that there have been no inspections on the property. There's also an open violation notice for no permit for plumbing work and hot water tank work and electrical work in the property.
Mr. France?
Any of those, the repairs that require a permit, they were completed before I had taken over management of this property. So I don't have any record of permits or anything that would have been pulled.
Okay, so you,
Mr. Chairman, I have records of the permits and they were not pulled. So the expectation is that the work that was completed without permit and without inspection, and therefore requires, it requires a contractor to pull the permits. This property is corporately owned. Therefore, it will require contractors to make application, pull the permits, verify the work, and put the work into a condition to where it can be inspected.
Okay, does this have to be reinstalled? Do they have to be reinstalled, the hot water tank and the plumbing?
Well, Mr. Chairman, to the appellate, the position is that they were illegally installed. So the requirement is, the reality is a contractor needs to be engaged to come and either reinstall the work that was done without a permit, or take responsibility for the work and make any corrections so that it meets the plan approval and the building and the codes. So that is what needs to be installed or reinstalled is a conversation with the contractor. Our expectation is that there is a contractor who has permitted the work and that it is subject to inspection.
hey, Mr. France, how much time do you think you need to accomplish that?
I would say within the next 30 days, I could get that done. More specifically, I would need to know like what would need to be approved, just the hot water tank repairs, because like I said, these repairs that are in question have taken place before I became the property manager here.
Okay.
Mr. Chairman, the notice of violation clearly states obtain plumbing permit for the hot water tank, sewer, drain, and water lines installed and a two-family dwelling done without approval, obtain electrical permit for wiring and work at electrical panel done without approval. Those are in the notice of violation. And that's what needs to take place.
So if you get a contractor, they would know what to do, but it sounds like at least 2 permits need to be pulled,
Okay, and that's the electrical and the plumbing.
I would say. Mr. Vanover?
Mr. Chairman, that's how the violation notice reads.
Okay.
Okay.
All
thank
right.
you.
So you think you can accomplish that within 30 days?
I can get that done.
Okay. All right. So we'll give you to July 7th, 30 days, 2023 to abate the violation.
Okay.
Motion? Motion? Okay. Well, moved by Mr. Maskey, second by Mr. Dank.
Mr. Maskey,
Yes.
Mr. Dink,
Yes.
Mr. Gallagher.
Yes. Okay, the notice will be sent out within 2 weeks. Thank you.
All right, thank you.
Okay, docket A 1523, 4049 West 157th Street.
Application and fees are in order. Notice of violation is fire damage issued on December 15th of 2022. Appeal was received January 20th of 2023, requesting for time to abate the violation. Present for the hearing, Tom Vanover, Building and Housing, Daniel Jacobson, Law. Would the appellant or his or her attorney or representative please state your name for the record? Mr. Chairman, we do
Yes.
not see a Martin Burke in the participant panel.
Okay, I'll swear in Mr. Vanover and we'll let Mr. Jacobson ask his questions. Mr. Vanover, solemnly swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, so help you God?
I do.
Okay, Mr. Jacobson.
Through the chairman to Ms. Davis, did notice of today's hearing get returned to the board's file for any reason?
Mr. Chairman, to Mr. Jacobson, no.
And through the chairman to Ms. Davis, have you received any form of communication, email, voice message, or anything physically delivered to you on behalf of this appellant and or docket?
To Mr. Chairman, to Mr. Jacobson, no.
To the chairman, due process requirements of notice have been given. The board can proceed with the hearing and its ruling. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Mr. Vanover.
Mr. Chairman, our records show that as of this morning, there's a certificate of disclosure filed on this property, which indicates that the appellant intends to just sell the property without correcting the violations. Therefore, we ask that you deny any time and remand it back to the Department of Building and Housing.
Can agree with that. The motion is in order to deny more time and remand the property to the Division of Building and Housing for any further action. Motion?
So moved. Second.
Mr. Dink, second by Mr. Maskey.
Mr. Maskey,
Yes.
Mr. Dink,
Yes.
Mr. Gallagher.
Yes, notice will be sent within 2 weeks. Okay, thank you. See, we got the last one. Is docket A 9423 5045 Pershing Avenue.
Application and fees are in order. Notice of violation is vacate. Issued on March 15th of 2023. Appeal was received May 1st of 2023. At the time, the appellant was requesting for more time to abate the violation. Present for the hearing, Tom Vanover, Building and Housing, Daniel Jacobson, Law. Will the owners and or their attorney or representative please state your name for the record?
Yes, William Johnson is present, and my mother, Regina Johnson, the homeowner, is present as well.
Okay, can I have you both solemnly swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, so help you God?
I do.
I do.
Okay, whoever's going to be giving the testimony, go ahead and let us know what the plans are.
Yes, so what we like to do with the property is to, abate, all the citations or concerns. And we're asking for a 5-month period to get everything repaired. Now I do understand that, there's been several occasions to where, there's been issues with with the house. However, as far as it being vacant, no one currently lives in the house, and that issue has already been resolved.
Okay, Mr. Vanover.
Mr. Chairman, this is not an appeal of the violation notice. The violation notice was issued in 2019. It is a legally established condemnation notice, and as such, as a condemned property, it cannot be occupied under law. This is a vacate order that, according to the appellate's testimony, the house is currently vacant. Therefore, we ask that you deny any more time and that you remand it back to the Department of Building and Housing. And we would ask for an emergency resolution.
Okay, you understand that, Mr. Johnson?
Yes, so pretty much what I'm indicating is that no one lives in the house, and you guys understand that, and you want to return it back to Building and Housing for a quicker resolution, although the issue may have already been resolved.
But we have done recent improvements.
Is that correct? Is that what you're stating, sir?
Well, the only thing we have before us is to vacate the property, and you're making testimony that is done. So no one
Correct.
lives in the property, and
No.
okay. So our motion is to remand the property back to the Division of Building and Housing for any further action.
Chairman,
So
discussion, Mr. Chairman, to the appellant, were any building permits pulled, rehab permits, for work done on the property? Wanted to clarify that.
I'm sorry, could you state that again?
Yes, sir. Through the, Mr. Chairman, were any building permits? I heard Regina state that, work has been done on the property recently. Rehab work, were any building permits?
No, I was not aware that we needed, I've done work on the porch and some other work, and I've got contractors that are giving me estimates to do work on the property. So I didn't know I needed a building permit to do the work that I've done on the porch so far.
okay, let's go back to Mr. Vanover.
Mr. Chairman, there is actually, we would object. There was permits pulled when this was initially condemned in 2020 by these current owners to rehab the property. And no work was completed under those permits. No inspections were called for. Subsequently, there was an additional permits pulled in 2021, again, to rehab the property. So we object to the statement that the appellant was not aware that permits were required, because permits had been pulled, no work was done, nothing was accomplished. And under the Ohio Administrative Code, the Residential Code of Ohio, when work is dormant or abandoned for 6 months, the plan approval becomes invalid. In such case, in both of these permit cases, the appellant was notified that their permits were invalid, and their contractors were notified as well that their permits were no longer valid, and therefore there are no active permits. There's been no work authenticated to have been conducted on the property. Again, that's just to make the record clear that these were legally closed permits under the Ohio Administrative Code and the Residential Code of Ohio, and that this appeal is for a vacate order that seems to have been rectified. So again, we ask that you, based on those facts, that you deny any more time, remand it back to the Department of Building and Housing.
Okay, motion is in order to deny more time.
Mr. Chairman, as the CEO has stated, this is because the appellant is presumed to know the law.
Okay, what was the statement?
The appellant is presumed to know the law. It's not their obligation to tell them. For the record, that's it.
Oh, okay. All right. So motion is in order to deny more time, remand the property division of building and housing for any further action. Motion?
So moved.
Okay, moved by Mr. Dank,
Second.
second by Mr. Maskey.
Mr. Maskey,
Yes.
Mr. Dink,
Yes.
Mr. Gallagher.
Yes. Okay, notice will be sent within 2 weeks. Thank you.
Discussion?
Go ahead.
Mr. Chairman, we would like an emergency resolution on this.
Okay, Ms. Davis?
Discussion, Mr. Chairman to Mr. Vanover. Emergency resolution, stating the denial and remanding of the vacate order, or, could you give me
That's correct.
clarification?
That is correct. What is under appeal is there's an appeal to the vacate order. And we would ask that you deny, that you issue an emergency resolution stating that their request for any more time in this matter is denied and it is immediately remanded back to the Department of Building and Housing.
Mr. Chairman to Mr. Vanover, so noted.
Okay,
May I speak, or is it too late, or?
the motion has been passed. It's in the record. The only thing that was in discussion was the emergency
Vacate order.
resolution. Right, so it is done. It is passed.
Okay, so moving forward, is everything clear? Until, we want to proceed with, pulling permits and, working on the house?
Well, I would say this, because it was, no more time was given, you would have to probably move on that pretty fast, in whatever you're gonna do. If you have contractors, whoever you have, they would have to move it, to the city and do what you're gonna do. But no time is gonna be given. It would be a matter of you just doing it and completing whatever needs to be done.
Okay, so the house is, like I said, we already said it's vacant, but as far as, and that was the main thing that we were discussing today. So that's already resolved. But moving forward, if we want to make repairs, we will have to do it the proper way. And you said expedite that, because what I'm getting is that wasn't that was discussed, but
Mr.
that
Chairman,
wasn't the topic, correct?
Mr. Chairman, I don't mean to interrupt, but currently there's nothing before the board right now. The
Right.
matter's
Right,
completed.
and that's true. That's understood. And I guess he was just looking for a little direction, but you would have to move on it, basically. So
Okay.
that's okay.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, approval of resolutions. A 19722, A 21722, A 21822, A 21922, 22022, 22122, A 1823, A 1923, A 2023, A 2123, 2223, 2323, 2423, 2523, 282723, A 2823. Motion?
Move for approval. Second.
Okay, moved by Mr. Dank, second by Mr. Mashpee.
Mr. Maskey,
Yes.
Mr. Dink,
Yes.
Mr. Gallagher.
Yes. Okay, we need motion for, are there any additions or corrections to the May 24th minutes?
No.
Motion for approval.
Okay, moved by Mr. Maskey,
Second.
second by Mr. Dank.
Mr. Maskey,
Yes.
Mr. Dink,
Yes.
Mr. Gallagher.
Yes. Is there anything else to come before the board?
No.
Okay, welcome, Ms. Austin.
Hello, Mr. Chairman. It's good to see you. How you doing?
I'm doing good. We almost
I-
called upon you
We're still
once.
recording, huh?
You can stop the recording.
We can stop that. Yeah.
Prompt them. You don't say anything until you, well, it's still up there. There you go.
Okay.
You don't see anything until they're done.
Yeah, well,
I am here in support of Dan.
Mr. Gallagher and the rest of the board, thank you
One
for
second,
your.
one second.
Oh, see,
Thank you.
oh, it does say live. There it is.